Where we come from is in another dimension, like the fourth or the fifth, on another planet, in another star system, and we've incarnated here, down into planet Earth, into the third dimension here, because what we are trying to do here, or not what we are trying to do, what we are achieving here is a universal embodiment, where any being on any level of reality can incarnate to one place. Any being that feels they have disconnected themselves or detached themselves from God can then incarnate and go through the life's experiences required to learn what it means to be in the image of God. A humane being. A being of compassion, of love, of understanding, of caring, all those qualities that make up and constitute a humane being. And once you do that, you get that understanding, that mindset back. Then you know you are at one with creation and you are no longer separate. You're no longer this small embodiment here existing in this reality and everything is out there. The understanding comes through that you are here, and yes, all you people are out there, but I'm all one with you. I'm a part of you. The same energy that runs through my atoms is the same energy that runs through your atoms. Therefore we're all connected intimately at the core level. We're all the same, totally equal, all one. And that's what the big myth is. Who are we? Where do we come from? What are we doing here? As long as you have personal identity, you have ego. The moment you make the decision with intent to no longer exist at all, totally not exist at all anymore, you then relinquish yourself back to the source, that core energy that lies behind everything, and you are completely dissolved and you no longer exist at all. You cease to exist. And that your energy will then go back into the source, and then something else will form, but you will no longer exist. So it's a big call, it's a big sacrifice to do that. Okay, very, very few beings do that. You've got to be very evolved to wish to not exist anymore. And we're not talking about dying. When you die, you still exist. I mean, it's just a genetic spacesuit to occupy this reality. So we're talking about your soul no longer existing, you know, beyond that level. Yeah. It's like samsara. If you take a drop of water and you take it and you drop it in the middle of the ocean, that water has lost its individual identity and then becomes part of the vast ocean. And that's the same, you'll become part of the vast ocean of energy. Yeah, you're totally gone on all levels of your existence. You are totally ceased to exist. You will never exist again. Yeah, the source, the almighty source in there will then use your energy for something else, and you will no longer exist. Okay, so this is the universe. This is what we know as creation. When you read books and it talks about all the dimensional levels, this is what refers to as creation. Okay, now we're going to go to the next step. So this is the basic structure of our universe. Like I said, I've taken it and I've just expanded it out to let you understand that it's categorised. Now, just quickly, within each dimensional level, there is an infinite amount of overtones. It's a labyrinth within each one. Okay, we have all these parallel realities really closely aligned with one another. Alright? That's why you talk about the upper astral, the lower astral. What we refer to as the fourth dimension, which is this little spectrum here. Okay, we'll refer to that as the fourth. Okay, you have the lower astral, the upper astral. The people like Mr. Edwards, who does his crossing over talks, he talks to people just here, just on the lower bottom of the fourth. Okay, because that's people who have just passed over and they're still very close to this reality and haven't come to terms with actually going beyond that realm yet. They're caught in what's called the lower astral energies. Alright, so that's who they're talking to, just outside this reality in these areas here. Creation is big. It is really big, it is really vast. The life that exists beyond this one is enormous. It's more vast than you can really comprehend, and I'm just talking about this, our universe now, our creation. What happens is any being that is beyond your reality, whether you're in the 8th and you're talking to someone in the 9th, for example, they will always present themselves to you with what you're comfortable with. They already know you intimately, okay, because they work with energy, and like your energy signature says so much about you, okay, and if they give you a name, that's what you're comfortable with, and that's why you've got some books. You can read different books and they all say different things about the same subject. For example, you can get information on the Council of Nine, and you get all different scenarios happening with different authors. A lot of it overlaps and is true, and then you just got little differences. Well, you know, it's their individual perception, and it's how it's been presented to them, and yeah. How we have guides, an example, there's beings, each individual incarnation here on Earth has an entourage around them, so to speak, okay? They monitor you all the time, this entourage. It's a very complicated thing. An incarnation here is not so straightforward and simple. There's a lot of work and preparation that goes into everyone incarnating here in this reality. And so therefore your entourage will present to you information which they know at the time emotionally, mentally, spiritually, where you're at. Because if they present you with something that mentally you're not ready with, you're going to freak out. Emotionally you're not ready with, you're going to break down. And that's, yeah, everything gets monitored quite closely and gets presented to you when, you know, at your appropriate level when you're ready. And this is something that I've been working with myself, and, you know, why don't I get this any sooner, and why I'm so frustrated, and, you know, and I'm learning patience. Because we'd all like to evolve so quickly, and my goodness, I just went through shingles and all sorts of things because I asked for it. I said I want to metamorphose quicker, so I did. That's it, yeah. What this visually represents is the omniverse. What I showed you, what we refer to as creation, is our universe. Okay, and I did draw a line of boundary, meaning that's a border, meaning, okay, if that's a fence, then what's on the other side of that fence, okay? Well, this is what lies outside. When you enter the house of Christ in the Christed realm, and you can get your consciousness to shoot all the way to the top, outside the spectrum of polarity, and you can get a little bit of a peek outside our universe, this is what you see. This is what's referred to as the omniverse. And what we have here is that grand sphere, or that ball that both science and creation both say everything came out of. The universe we refer to, and we are physically located, right, about here, and we are just one little dot. All those dimensional levels that we referred to before, and we talked about that we know as creation, is just one little speck in the whole grand omniverse. Out here is what we refer to as the source and the grand creation. It's absolutely colossal is the only word I can even come close to. It's enormous, colossal, huge. There just are no words that do it justice. Now I've just put dots there. There's a lot of the New Age movement teaches that there's beyond a certain level of reality there's no form. Okay, the source is just what is, and there's no form and nothing else exists. The energy that runs through all of this is that energy of what is. It's just the source. It's just raw energy. You can't think about it really, you just can't give it a name, or really, it's just an energy that is. That's totally nameless, genderless, formless, the whole lot. All these other creations majority of them are what have happened before, and some are in the making. I've just drawn dots there because there's forms of existence which my brain does not comprehend. This brain I have here is very limited, and I can only present to you dots. You cannot describe what